Hello, all you weirdos. Jim here, and there has been a ton of hype leading up to this Batman Gargoyle of Gotham book, written and drawn by Rafael Grampa. And I do like what little I've seen of Rafael Grampa's art. The problem is there really is only a little to see, especially with interiors. A lot of covers, but not much interior work for the amount of years that he has been around. So I was wondering, what is this hype all about? The other day when the gang was hanging out in our treehouse headquarters, I asked them, are you excited about this Batman Gargoyle of Gotham and Rafael Grampa? And they kind of looked at me with blank stares. Nobody knew what I was talking about, not even Johnny Big Brains. And that guy knows everything. So here we are. The book is out. We're able to grab it. Let's see if it is worth all this hype.
You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.
Batman Gargoyle of Gotham #1 is written by Rafael Grampa, art by Rafael Grampa, colors by Matt Lopez, and letters by John Workman. I mentioned that I have read a couple things that Rafael Grampa was involved with. I have read his Batman Black and White story. I thought that was pretty cool. Did the art and writing in that, a story that involved a Joker Alfred twist and turn deal. I have read his Mesmo Delivery graphic novel. Pretty cool. And I've also read his Dark Knight Returns the Golden Child, which actually he just did the art with Frank Miller writing the story. That was around 2018 and the last thing he did at DC. So overall, with that in mind, what do I think of Rafael Grampa? I think he's okay. I think he's good. It's not my favorite art. I don't get wowed by his art at all. And that continues in this issue. Now, again, that's all subjective. And if you are a fan of Rafael Grampa's art and his style, I think you will like this story more than I did. But really, what really comes down to everything here is the writing, which I don't think is that great. Batman Gargoyle of Gotham, it's a long book. It is a long book. It's almost 50 pages, and almost every one of those 50 pages is packed densely with narration boxes and dialogue, which kind of surprised me, since I thought that Grampa would use his art to tell a bit more of the story. Again, the art is stylistic. It's good, but there weren't any standout pages that I thought were pages like you had to show somebody. Like you were there and had to show your friends, oh my God, you won't believe how great this looks. Or, oh my God, this is so damn cool. I didn't think there were many, if any, of those type of pages, and I was expecting more of that. I actually think the star of this issue was colorist Matt Lopez, who sets up some of the best scenes with the coloring work, which I thought was excellent. The story itself, it's a bit convoluted and crowded. Grampa throws a lot at the reader in this first issue, and while I do think some of the ideas here are interesting, a lot of it seems to get lost up in the mumbo-jumbo of everything just slamming together. This is a younger, more brutal Batman than we are used to, and that does lead to some vicious fights, but I expected it to feel more original than it did. To me, this feels like Grampa is kind of reaching back to that story that he did with Frank Miller, and it feels almost like a prequel to Frank Miller's Dark Knight stuff than something that feels new and fresh. There is an original villain, Crytoon, and while I hate that name so much, I'm intrigued to see more of this villain. Having a bad guy obsessed with violent kids' cartoons from years past sounds silly, but Grampa makes him scary enough to be this Batman's Joker. I did like the classic look for Batman, but I was puzzled why Grampa took so much time to show his new Batmobile. And usually in stories like this, you are going to want to get, hey, let's see Batman's design. Let's see the Batmobile. Let's see the Batcave. Unfortunately, this is like a just beginning year 2 feeling Batcave, so there's not much to it. Kind of a letdown. But this Batmobile called the Blind Machine, it was a dud. I really think that this was a missed opportunity here. But again, if the idea of a Batmobile with steel plating covering the windows sounds cool, you might like it more than me, but it really just looked like an armored car. And a lot of time was taken talking about it, explaining it, and then seeing it. It really, to me, just fell flat. I did like the focus on detective work here with both Batman and Detective Gordon, because this is early on in Batman's career. But a lot of the clues and a lot of the things that push the story forward, actually, if you think about them more than just surface level, they're more forced in than actually figured out. Characters end up being questioned, and then on the side, they just mention something randomly that is the big thing to push things forward. Again, there is a lot being pushed here. You have a serial killer case, a new villain, for now, random Twitter girl posting social commentary out of nowhere, Alfred worrying about Bruce Wayne, and Batman wanting to kill off Bruce Wayne so that he can be Batman full-time, which is another thing that felt very much like a Frank Miller Dark Knight deal. And I already said it, but I thought the art was good. It didn't wow me to the point of saying, oh my God. And I thought that this was going to be one of those books where I'd get on and say, oh, the art's enough for the price of admission. Price of admission is actually $7. I can't say that this art wowed me enough to tell everybody, hey, you got to get this just for the art. Again, if you're a fan, have at it. But for me, it was a little bit of a letdown after all that hype, and the writing made me like the story even less. I thought the writing was clunky. At points, the dialogue felt wooden. Everybody sounded the same. It just didn't feel new or unique enough for what I thought we were going to get, especially because it's a Black Label Elseworlds deal. Now, it is allowed to get pretty violent. Not really killing, at least Batman gets the crap kicked out of him to the point where I don't even know how he survives. But if you like that ultra violence, you might get a little more out of this as well. And again, this is just issue 1 out of 4. So a lot of the problems I had, or a lot of things, being that things are just randomly thrown at you and you don't really get much of everything, that could work itself out by the end of this. 4 oversized issues. There's a lot of time and space to tell the story and to really get everything kosher here. But right now, with this one issue going in, all the hype for it, I can only give Batman Gargoyle of Gotham #1 a 5.5 out of 10. And yeah, if you're a big fan of Rafael Grampa's art or writing and or both, yeah, add a couple points to that, because I think that you will enjoy it more than me, and that's great. And I would love to hear what everybody thought about this in the comments below. So yeah, let me know what you thought. I have a feeling that some people are going to get angry at me, but hey, I decided to get back to doing the reviews. It's been a little bit, a couple people, thanks to them reaching out and asking if I was okay. I've just had problems with our main DC Comics podcast because my guy, Eric, who used to do it with me for 5-10 years, he stepped away and I had to kind of fill in the blanks with a lot of other people. So I've been tied up reviewing and recording stuff for our podcast, but I'm back. I'm going to be doing more reviews here of DC and Marvel. I hope that you enjoyed this. Don't yell at me too much. Let's just discuss it, not yell at each other. Let me know what you thought, and I will talk to you all later.
You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.